Hey Blender Bob here. A while ago we did a commercial for Flex Seal. Well, guess what? We made another one, so let's check it out.
Ice caps are melting. Oceans are rising. More massive storms mean more devastating floods. Hi, Phil Swift here for the Flex Seal family of flood protection products. A new innovation in flood protection specifically designed to help you protect your home or business from damaging floodwaters. To show you the incredible sealing power of our flood protection products, we built this entire house and sealed up every gap, crack, and hole using our flood protection products. Windows and doors, seams and thresholds, crawl spaces, basement windows, vents and ducts, garage doors, or other areas water may enter. Our flood protection products are specifically designed to work together in order to create multiple layers of super strong protection. Once everything is dry and sealed, let's open the floodgates. That water is rising fast, but our flood protection products are holding tight. And when used in combination with one another, they'll create a powerful force field of protection that can hold back water. A lot of water. Just take a look around. All these windows, doors, seams, and openings have all been sealed up tight, holding back all that water while protecting your home and valuables. Look, every structure is different. Depending on age and type of construction, there may be areas that can't be seen or sealed, so it's impossible to stop all floods every single time. But our flood protection products, they can help. They can help by slowing down or even stopping water from entering your home or business. That water is 3 feet high, and the inside is staying dry. And when the waters recede, our flood protection products are completely removable. Not only will they seal out the elements and help protect your home or business from damaging floodwaters, but our advanced high-tech formula is specifically designed to be removed. They come off fast and easy. So after the floods pass, you can open up fast. Now there's a new way to protect your home or business from damaging floodwaters. Get the removable Flex Seal family of flood protection products.
So now you probably wonder how many water simulations we did for that. Is it like Avatar insane 13.5 petabyte of data? No. Actually, the amount of simulations we did for this commercial is 0. Why? Because when you sell a product, you cannot do false representation. It needs to be realistic. So all the water you see in the commercial is actually the real water. Yes, they built a house, they had big, huge tanks of water, and they flooded the place. They really did it for real. So what did we do? Well, let me show you. So we didn't work on all the shots, we mostly worked on the second part of the commercial. The first part was done internally at Flex Seal. This one was really problematic because when they filmed it, the sun came out and it was very, very bright. But our compositors are really good, and what they did was to extract the luminance of the image right there, and they did a little bit of magic, and they recomped everything on top, and now you have a shot that is cloudy. We still needed a CG wall and a roof on the left side because, well, there is no roof on the house and there's kind of a white halo that appeared around the wall. So the first step is to find the camera, the lens that was used for this shot. And I can look at the metadata of the plate, it's going to tell me the lens, but it won't give me the exact angle. So I use a software called F-Spy. It's a freeware, the link is in the description, and all you need to do is to align 2 edges for each axis in the X and the Y, and the Z will be done automatically. So I just align them like this. And I finish with this one. And now everything seems to be aligned, but you can see that my Z is pointing down instead. So you just take the X or the Y and you make it negative, and now it's going to be fine. And you move this dot at the corner, and that's going to be the origin. When you open it in Blender, it's going to be 0, 0, 0. So once you're done, all you need to do is to save the file and give it a name to make sure that you will remember what it is. Then you go in Blender and make sure the add-on is loaded. Fspy, you find your super name here, boom, and you will see that it generated a camera. This is the original one, I can get rid of it. So it generated a camera with the background image there. So now if I create a cube, I will just put my pivot right there and set it back to 0, 0, 0. Now my cube is right there, the perspective matches perfectly. And that's all I needed to render in Blender. The shaders are stupid easy, it's just a gray color and a white color, and that's it. Specular and roughness at 0.5, that's it. Now let me explain to you how they did the comp for this shot. We start with what I rendered here. There are a few nodes for color correction and grading to make sure that everything will match the plate. And now all you need to do is to So I hope you took notes because I'm not going to repeat it again. On this shot we can see that there was no roof on the house, so everything had to be covered with this white plastic so that the water would not get in the house because they added rain on set. The rest is pretty straightforward. I created these two walls only for this shot. For the compositing, well, you start with the plate and then there's a rain removal here where they removed all the rain to make it cleaner to work with. Then there's a left wall. I don't know what they did on this one. They fixed something. I don't know what. There's tons of roto and everything. This is the CG part. This is my plate, what I rendered in right here. And it's just a bunch of color correction, just grading nodes with mask and cryptomats just to adjust everything to make sure that it matches the plate perfectly. This is something that is much easier to do in comp than trying to do it in lighting. The advantage of doing this in comp is that you get the final result right away, so you can make sure that everything's going to be fine. If you just render a wall in 3D, you can never know, you can never tell if it's going to match the plate. After that, they added more rain. This usually comes from stock footage that you just buy, and there are more tweaks and more color corrections and masks and stuff to make sure that everything works perfectly. Okay, let's take a look at this one. This is the setup we had for every shot with water that we had to replace. So we have a house that's right there in the center, and then we have a water plane, and we have the trees that are in bounding box right now, otherwise it would be too heavy. The house and the trees are linked collections. And then we have the water plane. This is a setup that was based on Dylan Neal tutorial on large scale oceans. The link is in the description. But we modified it. We added 2 empties, and when we change the scale of these empties, it will change the scale of the waves. There's also an image in the background, but we don't use it for rendering. This is just for a reference. So this is our master scene, one scene to rule them all.
In this case, since the camera is not moving, we just manually place the camera inside the house, and we use the low-res house as a reference to make sure that everything is fine. It doesn't need to be super accurate as we're never going to render the house itself. So as I was explaining before, if we take this empty here and we change the scale, we change the scale of the big waves, and then we have another one to change the scale of the small waves. And if I turn the trees back on, this is what I get. For the lighting, it's just a simple cloudy day HDRI. For the compositing, this is the plate, this is what they filmed, and you can see that windows per windows, they isolated the water using Luma keys and rotos, and then you put this on the background and this is what you get. Now the background itself, it's a recipe that we reuse on all the shots. So there are multiple elements that are all come together, assembled and readjusted per shot. And at the end of all this, you have something called a pre-process. So this is rendering all the background in one shot so that if you want to do changes, for example, on the interior of the house, you don't need to re-render the background every time. It's already pre-rendered. This one has the same setup as the previous one, but we added a fish. If you look at the plate, you can see the water looks good. Of course, it's real water, but we still had to change it because we needed to match the other shots. We did many different light passes for the fish, but at the end we didn't need all of them because the water is too murky. I did make a shadow pass though for the chair, and you can see it's very simple. It's a very basic geometry and the fish is just casting shadows. Compositing wise, well, same old story, so start with the plate and do tons and tons of roto and compositing to replace the water and add the fish right there. The compositing tree looks impressive, but it's mostly roto and color corrections. Now this one was quite a challenge because we needed to track the shot, stabilize it, we needed to fix the water around the house, we needed to remove all the background, change new trees, new lake in the background, mountains and everything, and we needed to add a roof that would match perfectly the original roof. And we only had 45 minutes to do all this! Oh come on, don't believe everything I say. And after a few days of work, this is what we ended up with, and we're really happy about it. On the 3D side, it's not that complicated. We still had the same setup for our trees, for the environments, and for the water extension. The geometry is not that complex. I mean, it's just a bunch of cubes. We had a few render layers, we had the whole roof, we have the roof mask, which creates the transparency, we had the interior of the house, the tree environment, we also had another pass for the tree for the sun, and we had two different specular passes for the roof. This is actually a cheat so that we can get the proper specular depending on the angle of the camera. From the top point of view, the gutter didn't look that good with just a white shader, so we cheated it, we just added an ambient occlusion in it. So instead of having this white stuff here, we make an ambient occlusion, we multiply it with the color, and we just plug it into the base color, and here we go! We had a fix to do inside the house. They wanted me to remove the frame here, so what I did is I created a very basic geometry, and I did a camera projection. So for that, I used the UV project modifier and I projected from the camera. Actually, it's a copy of the original camera on the last frame so that it doesn't move. I removed the animation. Then in Photoshop, we just painted out the frame, and once it's applied to the geometry, this is what we get. So it looks bad from this angle, but it doesn't matter because we only see it from the camera angle. So as you can see, it looks like a miracle. But there's still some stuff that you need to fix in compositing, like the walls and the floor. If I play back the animation, you can see that the front wall is actually projected on the bed, but it doesn't matter because the real wall will cover it. So this is my render, then they created a mask, and then they just add it on top with a merge node over. So this is what you get. This is the before, and this is the after. I'm obviously not gonna go through the entire com script because it would take forever, but you can see it's a lot of work just to end up with this final render node.
So there you go. As you can see, everything we touch does not affect the product itself. The product works. We didn't even remove any traces of water inside the house. It did work. Actually, it worked very well. So what we did was to do some cosmetic changes that do not change what the product can do. So I'm sorry if you were disappointed. You expected these big water simulations. Well, no, there were none. But, water simulations, we will have a bunch of them in the Tiki Movie Project. All right, see you.